Welcome to the conclusion. I hope through watching this guide you've been able to get something out of this. As you've found out, there are many steps to making movies, but it can be very satisfying when you've completed it all. To me, that's the best part, seeing your ideas manifested on screen. One thing that's neat is that if you were thinking in terms of the game, sometimes the end result can come out almost exactly as you envisioned it. I think that's something not even top-level movie directors experience. So, you've edited your movie. Or maybe you haven't. I promised in the intro I'd mention some free video editor alternatives here, so I'll do that now. Now, I haven't personally tried out any of these editors, so I can't give any opinion as to how good they are. But here's a few free ones we found. Jashaka, VideoSpin, VideoThang, Wax, ZS4. I imagine at least one of those will do a good job on your video. So, if your video is edited, the next question is, where do you go from here? Well, unfortunately, we won't be covering how to encode your video because there's no standard way to do it. Some encoding methods are better for space, some for compatibility, and some for detail. It all depends on what you want. This whole tutorial uses a variant of the DivX codec. For my own personal videos that I make, I use the XVIG codec we went over earlier. You remember how there were a dozen or so settings on that? Well, if you learn more about those, you can shrink down the size of your videos by quite a bit. Much more than what we did in this guide, and still have excellent visual quality. For online distribution, I encode in Windows Media Video format because it's more compatible, thus more people can watch it. If you want maximum visual quality, I hear the codec H.264 does a very good job. But it's still kind of new, and it's also very demanding on CPU power. If you have a Mac, QuickTime MOV format is a natural option. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. It's all a matter of file size, compatibility, and visual quality. If you want to learn more about video encoding, I recommend going to the site doom9.org. They have lots of different guides for you on everything related to video encoding, and it's how I learned to use XVID. They have a lot of support in their forums as well. I'm sorry we don't have more for you on the topic, but it's a complex situation. If you asked me what the best encoder is to compress your videos, I wouldn't have an answer for you. There's no clear winner here. Anyway, the final step to making your movie is finding an audience. There are lots of options here. A bunch of people watch videos on YouTube, so that's a good place to start for featuring your video. Also, if you make it in the source engine, you can sometimes post in related forums like gaming ones, or Half-Life 2, or whatever the game is you use to make your video. You already have a target audience that way. The main problem with YouTube is that the visual quality isn't that great. If you want people to see your video at higher quality, there are some sites out there that will host it for you. I'd say the biggest ones are Machinima.com and WeGame.com. They both specialize in Machinima videos, so you can upload your video there, get a higher quality streaming version, and a download link so that other people can watch it. Plus, the people that visit there are going to be interested in Machinima anyway. Also, if you use this guide to create your Machinima movie, Noesis would love to hear about it. Just email them at info@noesisinteractive.com. And I may regret saying this, but if you went through this whole guide and still have a question about anything that was covered, especially parts about the source engine, you can hunt me down personally and contact me, and I'll try and help you out. I'm not giving my email or web address here because that might change soon, but if you look up civil protection, you should be able to find me. Finally, if you went through this guide and decided you want to do it all, I recommend getting the source choreography guide. It pretty much fills in the gaps for actually fleshing out your scene. This guide was more the before and after to that part of it. I'd say it gets substantially more technical, but it really covers a lot as far as making Machinima. Okay, I think that's it. Good luck with conquering the world and getting your movies made.